Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and so I'm doing part 2 of my random series I just decided to start on. I think I can do this when I have clutter on my desk and clutter in my mind and I just want to do some different things. So I had to break it up and do a part 2, and I'm going to work on some of those coin holders like you can find at Hobby Lobby and so on. But I also think I'm just kind of putting off working on the binding for the Esther journal because I don't quite know how to go about it, so I keep putting it off. Do you guys ever do that? Well, I'm gonna get on it here quickly soon, but meanwhile, here's part 2. Okay, so there's that one. He's really fat too, but I think he'll be okay when I get done clamping him. Okay, so on to the next thing. This was sitting here. I've just got all these little things. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. I showed this one the other day. I took these are coin collector things that you get at Hobby Lobby. And my sister told me about them, so I have, of course, had to go buy a bunch of them. So then I'm like, well, now what do I do with them? And it's been months and months ago that I first bought them, but I finally pulled them out. And I just hand lettered Joy and did this on the back, and I didn't even get them straight, which would drive Pat crazy. But anyway, it's kind of a prototype. Yeah, that's my excuse. So I had some circles cut out. I forgot about it. I'd used my 1-inch punch some circles out. So I laid them out here, and I had this sheet of sticky words from, I think this is Illustrated Faith. And so I just pulled off some small words and used my glue because I don't trust stickers, so I added glue to them. So now I need something on the back side, and actually there's an extra one. So I'm going to take my Illustrated Faith pen. It's a 0.25 pen tip, so you can use whatever kind you have. And I'm going to try and be straight. Make it straight on the back as best as I can. So that said Joy on one side. So I think I'll just write Joy in a hand lettering. So would have been better to do this before I glued something on the back because it's kind of making a bump. That's all right. I like it when it runs off the page. And so the strategy of it is the downstroke is thicker, so I'm going to go back over the downstroke. And then Grace. I'm going to write Amen. I see Amen there. I'm going to hand letter Amen on the back of this one. Hopefully this fits. And then on Amen, I'll write Grace. Ooh, I have such a great imagination, don't I? Well, let's see if I got that straight, sort of. All right, so okay. And then this one, of course, needs to be a small word. Let me think for a second. I'll just do Jesus. So can't really start that by running it off the edge, but that's all right. Okay, so this is the downstroke. So I was trying to figure out how to tell you guys, like when I see ideas online, I use an Apple computer and I don't know how to use a PC, so I don't know how to tell you guys, but I do screenshots on an Apple, on a Mac, it's super easy, but I don't know on a PC, but you can Google it. So I'm going to flip this over and just write love on the back. Anyway, I screenshot ideas and then print them out, and I have a bunch of those color prints that I have laying here too for ideas. Just going to mention that to you. Probably all of you are doing screenshots, but if you're not, it's worth your time to Google it and look it up, see how to do it. And that way you can capture things online when you see them. Okay, so there's that. So we need 4 of these. And what I found out is the acetate is just on the whole side of this. And so it did glue, but I had to clamp it. And it didn't want to hold still. So I put just a tiny little dot of glue on the top to just hold it where I wanted it to be. So center it. I'm just going to eyeball it and press it down, and it kind of puckers, but it gets better after it dries. And then I'm going to put glue on the inside. And clamp it. Ooh, that really squished the glue out into that. I hope that dries clear. We'll find out. Glue it a little more carefully than I did. Strawberry box with words that I've written. I wonder if any of those would fit. It's kind of large. See if I have any small ones. I stamp words out, you know, on paper and then cut them out so that I'll have them ready to use. But it looks like they're all big. I have to do some small ones. Smaller. There's one that says Seek from one of my kits. I could do that. Okay, so I guess these are hand lettered. I took these 1-inch punch circles and just hand lettered Ask, Seek, and Knock. Let's see, I've got 2 of each. So this is one I didn't finish. I'll put this back. All right, so I'm gonna do 3 more of these. Of course, I have 2. This is how it goes. I run out of one thing and then need more of the other. I have some somewhere, but I don't want to get them out. So I'm just going to do Ask and Seek right now. And so, wow, you know what? That's kind of a waste. I think I will hand letter these real quick. Okay. Oh, wow. I bet I didn't, and I didn't look. Yeah, they're not straight. Oh, well. Yeah, they're crazy. Okay. That's all right. I don't care. Pat, shut your eyes. Get down to my little bitty ones here. And, you know, that was a pretty messy one right there, that Seek, but it doesn't bother me. I still feel like it just has that hand lettered look to it. And so, you know, I don't stress out about that too badly. And then when these are done, I'm going to go around them with dots or something. And then I just use Distress ink just to add some color to it. So those are done, I'm happy to say. Okay, you guys, I am back. I stopped the video and it was time to go to bed and get up and so on. So I'm back at this kind of clearing my desk and using up some things. And I put part 1 of this on and someone made a comment. It was, her name is Teresa Lilly, and she made a comment. So Teresa, if you're watching this, thank you. Apparently what I'm doing here is something that has been happening since like 1570 or something like that. And it has a name and they call it a commonplace book. And I went out and looked around a little bit, and there are a lot of videos on commonplace books and things on Pinterest and so on and so forth. And so I just wanted to mention that term in case you didn't know it. I had never heard it before. But it's something that I do like at home. I keep like a logbook of everything I do in the house because, you know, like if we buy an appliance, I write down the date, so on. If a baby's born in the family, I write that down. Major events or things we purchase or repairs or things like that. I try to keep a log so that things that you want to go back and say like, okay, when did we buy the refrigerator? Oh yeah. When did we, you know, when did we clean the pond out? So on and so forth. And keep like sources and phone numbers and important things like that. So you have this one book to go to regarding the house. So apparently though, a commonplace book for a lot of people is where you would keep, like I mentioned, how I have all these pieces of papers with, you know, like this little note, Secret Garden Journal, you know, or 2 big spoons of instant coffee. The place where they keep those, or whatever you run across in a day that you want to keep a hold of, quotes, you know, if you see a quote and you don't want to lose it, this is the book that you write it in. And of course, some have made it super cute and decorated, and so I can feel that coming on. We're going to have to work on one of those here real soon. So I just wanted to mention that and give it a name. So today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some stuff on scraps. I just felt like I had said something, you know, I had wiped some of that gold off that I was using, and so I decided I'm going to lay this out on this cookie sheet from that baker's rack I have. I have stencils to use, but I don't know that I need stencils. I think I'm just going to, we'll see. I'll lay those over here. But I'm just going to use some of this shimmer spray and just spray. And just flip it. Now, chartreuse happens to be one of my favorite colors, so, you know, that works out for me. You might not care for that color. Okay, so I'm going to put that away and get the mica. It's the brushed pewter by Ranger. It's a little more spotty. Is that a word? You know what I mean? Like it's going to make a pattern, see how it draws up and leaves a... Hopefully this doesn't all stick together and I have to throw it all out. I mean, sometimes you want just plain white scraps to do stuff with, but I just have so many that I'm not concerned that I'm going to run into a shortage of them. Okay. And I've got the Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, and this is Curious. I guess what it's called. It's a blue, sky blue kind of color. Okay, so I'm going to just put those over on the dry rack, let them dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I found some prints I did from where I was playing around with jelly plate printing, and I didn't like them, and so I didn't want to throw them away, but, you know, and they're just a scrap on the back of something else. So I think what I'm going to do is do some, I mean, there's different words for it. I think some people call it frankenpaper. And so I'm just going to start gluing scraps down together. Whoop. This is some brown paper I had that I just took gesso and scraped across it. That's what this is. And then these were the scraps that I had left. So I'm going to put that over this. I'm going to leave these lines down here because I think I could probably use that for some journaling space somewhere. And I'm looking in my small scraps. Just going to start tearing strips, gluing them on. Let's see, I have enough of that. And then I'm gonna take the sprays. Oh, here's a pretty good scrap. Glue this over here. And then I'm going to take the stencils that let's see. I think I'll pick just something pretty standard and use these sprays on this. Ah, okay. And this is probably the day I need to wear an apron. Have a feeling. And I'm going to flip this over so I don't waste it. And let that go on there. Actually, I don't think I'll mind that even on the lines, just to add a little bit of interest. And then let's see. So I'm going to set this one aside. Work on this one. Looks like some scraps of Tim Holtz paper, which, boy, don't you hate it when you have to choose a side to use. It's double-sided. So I'll use this over here on this edge that didn't get any ink on it, or paint on it. Same thing down here because got that edge around it. And this. Actually, yeah, might as well use it up on the edge. Put the torn edge up. So I know there's all kinds of different people that do this, and you've probably done it a lot of times. I think maybe adding, once you've glued it, then adding a process over it, one or two processes even, is maybe what makes it interesting. Or more interesting. And I should probably use Mod Podge, but it makes it so stiff and kind of just changes the consistency of it. I don't really feel like doing that today. Add this, and actually I want to tear this because I don't like this white edge on it. Trying to get the outline up so that the edges won't stick up too horribly. See, a little music could be a good thing, I think. Okay, so now I'll find another stencil. I'll try that one. And better not use chartreuse. I don't want to introduce green into this already crazy color combo. This is a brush pewter. This is a neutral. Probably a better idea. I'm going to turn this over. Just so it doesn't go to waste. I'm just gonna, here's the ones I did with the gold, this Bo Bunny stencil paste in gold stencil paste. I love this. I just started using it, and I used it on my journal, and so then when I finished, I just wiped it off on these scraps, and it dries really fast. But anyway, it's really shiny, and I think it looks really cool. So there's those. These were done with some Ken Oliver Color Burst powder, and I've got the earth tones. There's different assortments you can get, but this was from that. And you sprinkle this powder, and you sprinkle it on and then spray it with a spray bottle. So that's what these were from. So anyway, that is something else you can do with scraps. You can pour this on them and spray them with water. So it's kind of a messy thing, kind of a messy day I'm having here, but anyway, I think that is all for now. I'm going to finish this video up, and we'll move on to the next thing. Thanks for watching. Click like if you liked it, and think about subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.